when you think about social media and your brand and trying to get in front of your audience, one of the components of brand and brand recognition and people coming to you and remembering you is time spent with your brand. And so we want to go where the people are spending time, and they're spending lots and lots of time on TikTok right now. Hey, I'm Spencer Powell and welcome back to Builder Funnel TV. This is where remodelers and custom builders tune in for business growth strategies. Today we're going to talk about TikTok. Now this is something that we haven't talked about in quite some time, and we're revisiting because we've been digging into some of the numbers, and I think it's at a spot where if you haven't really looked at it from a business standpoint yet, there may be some opportunity, but I want to dig into what the opportunity is and why or why not for you. So let's look at just some raw numbers, and then we'll get into the weeds on if you're going to get started, why it would make sense, and then what you maybe need to consider if you do want to get started with TikTok. So the first is that they are at 3 billion downloads, and they're about a third of all social media users at this point. So those are big numbers. It took them 4 years to get to that spot. For context, it took Facebook and Instagram about 10 years. So they have reached that pinnacle or that spot in terms of numbers very fast in less than half the time. The other thing to note about this platform is that it is super engaging. So I don't know if you've been on TikTok, but my first experience on TikTok was I kind of heard about it. I was like, what's this new app? And then in my mind, I'm going, okay, I remember when Facebook first started, Instagram first started. I was skeptical of Instagram, and then there was Snapchat, and I was like, I don't know. And so then it was TikTok, and I'm going, I don't know. So I waited, and then I finally was like, okay, I'm going to download it. And I ended up burning through like 90 minutes of just like scrolling and watching all of these like 10-second videos. So my point being, it's a very engaging app. And so when you think about social media and your brand and trying to get in front of your audience, one of the components of brand and brand recognition and people coming to you and remembering you is time spent with your brand. And so we want to go where the people are spending time, and they're spending lots and lots of time on TikTok right now. So they are the most most engaging social media app, and I think the number is almost 11 minutes per session. And so that is double number 2, which is actually Pinterest. I would have guessed Instagram or Facebook, but Pinterest, I guess, is the second most engaging, which means if somebody opens the app, they're going to spend on average of almost 11 minutes on TikTok when they open it. And I think people are spending, it's like an hour or something on the app, or 90 minutes a day on average. So lots and lots of time. But each time they open it, it's about 10 minutes. So that's something to be aware of. In terms of market penetration, so their global downloads of 3 billion is all over the earth. But US, they're at, users are about 100 million. So that's a lot, but there's still room to grow. And a big chunk of that is the younger generation. And so this is where I want to start to weave into the conversation of, okay, these are some nice raw numbers to know about. Like, it's a big platform, lots of engagement. Most of the users are younger. So I think it was like between 14 and 21, and then there's a group that goes up to 29. So I always put my hat on and go, okay, what does this really mean? What do I want to get into this platform? Is this just some random tactic? Do I need to pay attention? Should I ignore it? And I think back to Instagram. Now, Instagram, when it first launched, it was basically for photographers and kind of creative professionals, and they were posting a lot of graphics. So it was really nice photos or really creative graphics, really cool designs. It was more about the art. And that was kind of the niche. But then it quickly moved to, okay, maybe a younger audience, and they're posting some other things. They kind of got away from Facebook or skipped out of Facebook because Facebook had the parents on there and all that kind of stuff. And then grandparents was like, all right, we got to get out of here. We're going to Instagram. But then Instagram started to move their user base up in terms of the age demographics. So then people started migrating and moving over there, and then everybody was on Instagram. So that's the way that I'm looking at TikTok, is we're kind of seeing that starting to shift right now. There's definitely a wide range of demographics. A lot of them are younger, but we're seeing the shift. And so when I think about the business opportunity, as a remodeler, as a custom builder, you're going, okay, my audience usually isn't that younger audience, right? Under 30, sometimes, but it's rarer. Usually they're in their later 30s, 40s, 50s, and sometimes into the 60s, 70s. And so that group is going to most likely follow. And maybe they don't, right? Like maybe I'm wrong there, but if TikTok continues to just gain steam and traction, then that's probably what we'll see. Usually more marketers follow, more brands follow, and so then it gains a lot of it, just more buzz. There's more content being created there. And so I think there's opportunity now if you're saying, hey, I kind of missed the early innings of Instagram. I missed the early innings of Facebook from a business perspective. Maybe I can catch the early innings of TikTok. This might be a good time to explore. Now let's talk about maybe how to approach it, because I think the first question is, well, I don't want to just jump on TikTok and start shooting these weird videos with my phone. And that's probably true. You don't necessarily want to do that. I would definitely go in with a strategy, and I would go in with a cadence. And so what I mean by that is you want to think through what types of videos are you going to create, what's kind of your personality or your company's personality, what are you going to be trying to do there, and then what's the cadence? How often are you going to post? Don't go on, post a few videos in the first 2 weeks, and then do nothing for a month, and then go back to it and post once and then ignore it. If you're going to do that, just don't do it at all. So I'd say if you're going to get started, go ahead and pick the cadence and then develop a strategy. It could be home maintenance tips, it could be design trends, it could be a variety of different things. It could just be cool stuff happening on the job site. But the thing that's interesting about this platform, which is similar to other platforms in that it has constraints. So the constraints are a time component. It's only video, right? So you can't necessarily just go and do a text post or a photo or anything. It's video, and it's got to be short. And so when you think about that, Twitter, their constraint was 140 characters, and it was just text. And then I think they slowly expanded. Instagram, when it first started, was just photos. And then they added, videos, and the videos had certain lengths, and then they extended those and they kind of expanded. But right now, there's a lot of constraints. And so it makes it tougher for some people, which then provides the opportunity for those people that are willing to work through kind of the challenge of the creativity. But it also forces you to think in terms of that lens, which is short, video, and kind of how do I deliver a quick message and something that's compelling. And if you can do that honestly on TikTok, then that will serve you well, whether you're posting content to Instagram, to YouTube, to your website, but thinking about how to deliver a message quickly, creatively, compelling, via video, and in a short time span. So those are the things that I would just consider as you go down that path. But this is really part of a larger trend that we've been watching for the last several years, which is trying to incorporate a lot more video into your company's marketing strategy, your sales strategy, the way you communicate with clients. And I would say if you're thinking about video first, then that will put you in a good spot. So whether it's YouTube video testimonials, Zoom calls with your clients, so in the marketing side and in the sales side, even for the while you're in production, communicating via FaceTime or Zoom calls or doing those type of video updates. Those things are a lot more compelling, and people want to receive information via video today. So if nothing else, going down this path of experimenting with a new platform or newer platform like TikTok, it will help level up your video skills. And so if you do take the plunge, I would say commit to like a year and give it a go. And even if it's a failure, you'll have gained lots of valuable video skills that you can apply across multiple platforms. So that's my 2 cents for kind of where we're at in the TikTok journey. I think for remodelers and custom builders, it's still an experiment. I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket. I think it's a worthy experiment. And I think you can still be early to the game in terms of building a following there within that niche and within that space. All right, that's what I got for you today, and we'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.